David begins to act more like a true king, rescuing cities, seeking his God's will, and sparing lives, while Saul hunts him like a prey. But God's guidance and friendship sustain David through every hard. Let's start with the first part of the chapter, which covers David saves Keilah. David hears the Philistines are attacking Keilah and stealing grain. He asks the Lord, "Shall I go and strike them?" God says yes, but David's men are scared. David asks again, and God confirms, "I will give the Philistines into your hand." David defeats them and saves Keilah. Even in hiding, David defends Israel, showing the heart of true shepherd king, okay? The second part of the chapter covers Saul's plots, but David seeks God, okay? Saul hears David and Keilah, a walled city, and says, "God has delivered him into my hand." David learns of Saul's plan and asks God two questions through Abiathar the priest. First, will Saul come down to Keilah? Second, will the people of Keilah hand me over? God answers for both. Yes. David and his men, now 600, flee before Saul arrives. David doesn't rely on assumptions. He inquires of the Lord before every move. The third lesson covers, the third part of the chapter covers into the wilderness. David hides in the wilderness of Ziph. Saul searches daily, but God does not give David into his hands. Jonathan secretly visits David and says, "Do not fear, you shall be king over Israel, and I shall be next to you." They renew their covenant again, and Jonathan, though the crown prince, confirms God's plan and encourages David in faith, okay? The fourth part of the chapter covers Ziphites betray David. The people of Ziph go to Saul and say, "David's hiding here. We'll hand him over." Saul blesses them, and they go to scout David's exact location. Even while doing good, David faces betrayal from fellow Israelites. The fifth part of the chapter covers a narrow escape. Saul pursues David into the wilderness of Mount. As Saul closes in from one side of the mountain, David and his men are escaping on the other. Saul just as Saul is about to catch him, a message arrives. The Philistines are raiding the land. Saul breaks off the chase. David names the place Salah Hamalekot, which means rocks of escape, and moves to En Gedi. Divine timing saves David at the very last second again. What are the key lessons from this chapter from 1 Samuel chapter 23? The first is seek God before action. David constantly prays and listens, even with danger pressing him. Second, leadership means protection, not self-interest. While Saul schemes, David delivers. Third lesson, true friendship strengthens your soul in God. Jonathan reminds of David God's promise, not just human hope. Fourth lesson, God can use interruptions to save you. Saul was seconds from victory, but a raid pulled him away. God is never late. So David rescues Keilah, but flees when people won't protect him. Saul hunts him relentlessly, but God shields him at every turn through prayer, friendship, and even sudden distractions. Jonathan reappears as a faithful encourager, while David grows into his future whole. If you enjoyed this chapter, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Sorry about today, I'm a little bit sleepy, but it is what it is. That's the end of the video. I'll be better tomorrow, but let's continue with it, right?